So, inspired by another chapter in this book, this chapter is by Helen Fisher, and her favorite deep, beautiful, or elegant theory of how the world works, or explanation, what sort of theory is epigenetics. Her title is Epigenetics, the Missing Link. Well, her title is Biological Anthropologist, Rutgers University, author, Why Him, Why Her, How to Find and Keep Lasting Love. Okay, this is about, I covered it in, I think, a video, or maybe it's the video that fucking lost, but maybe it's the bonus content of the mind-body problem and other fake questions video. But I know I talked about it at some point, whether you heard it or not, about the fake question of nature versus nurture. I'm doubting now whether I want to consider it a fake question, but anyway, that's not the point though. The point is that usually I roll my eyes when people, hold on, let me turn off the, is that better? Usually I roll my eyes when people say that, we learn racism and that we're not sort of naturally racist, that someone has to teach you racism. Okay, I still roll my eyes at that. But I was too far on the extreme of fixedness and the disregard for environment regarding racism. The environment molds the brain in a lot of ways, and often I thought, the cerebrum, right, the cortex, I should not have said cerebrum. I think someone put that in my head recently. Anyway, the cortex is what I meant to say. And that's the part that, learns and is easiest to adapt and stuff like that. And that's kind of reductive, but I didn't think that something as important as the in-group, out-group bias would be something that could easily change, or could be very different across people. Now, of course, there are people that could be, first of all, minorities are going to have a different perspective on racism because they're surrounded by the majority. Hold on a second. Actually, you know what? Let's just jump straight to my point. My point is that, epigenetics, man, the missing link. So, of course, all humans could be pre-programmed with the in-group, out-group. All humans are. And then we are meant to learn in our lifetime. I'm understanding it better now, even before when I started the video. Okay. So we have this in-group, out-group wired into us. And then just like we have kind of language wired into us, syntax, basic stuff. And then we learn what sort of sounds to associate with meaning. But we've got like a lot of the basics of, we're like ready to learn a language. That's what I'm saying. Which is why, other species, they don't, gorillas, it's hard to get them to learn sign language. They have some of the basics. We don't have the basics that we do. The foundations. Okay, so we all have the foundations we all have the in-group, out-group schema when we're born. And then our brain has to learn where this distinction is useful. So it starts to observe all the people around us, and it says, okay, no, I'm saying two different things. Okay, forget what I just said a second ago. It's looking around at the environment, and it's saying, this is my in-group. Okay. So then if you're raised in a diverse setting, and you have positive experiences, of course, and you have a closeness and intimacy with a variety of people, then those people, if you consider them representative of the groups from which they come, then your brain is going to classify in group. So maybe if you grow up in the city, in the city, right? And let's say you're white, and you grow up with, blacks, Hispanics. Then your brain is going to say, oh, okay, so color of skin won't be useful as a determiner of in-group and out-group because I've got all these different colors that I'm classifying as in-group based on these experiences of trust and so on and this exposure. And then in which case, your out-group could still be foreigners. Your out-group could, be a certain sexuality. Your out-group could be, other things. But in that case, it wouldn't be racism because, no, but I'm doing it again. Okay, no, I had a better understanding before I made this video. See, look, psychiatrists, psychologists, and therapists have long been preoccupied with our childhood experiences. Specifically how these sculpt our adult attitudes and behaviors. Yet they have focused on how the brain integrates and remembers these occurrences. Epigenetic studies provide a different explanation. For example, mother rats that spend more time licking and grooming their young during the first week after birth produce infants who later become better adjusted adults. And researcher Moshe Sif proposes that this behavioral adjustment occurs because epigenetic mechanisms are triggered during this critical period, producing a more active version of a gene that encodes a specific protein. Then this protein, via complex pathways, sets up a feedback loop in the hippocampus of the brain, enabling these rats to cope more efficiently with stress. So I did it again because those voices, I'm so used to thinking of it that way and not considering epigenetics enough. Okay. So rather than saying that the brain identifies, okay, blah, blah, my actual point in making the video was that the sensitivity and ferocity of your in-group, out-group voice can be pulsed or slapped, inhibited or excited. And rather than looking at it neurally, inhibition, excitement, let's look at it genetically. So I've learned today that a methyl group, all right, as an anthropologist untrained in advanced genetics, I won't attempt to explain the process involved. Although two basic mechanisms are known. One involves molecules known as methyl groups that latch onto DNA to suppress and silence gene expression. The other involves molecules known as acetyl groups, which activate and enhance gene expression. Actually, how deep or philosophical can the in-group, out-group voice get? Is it possible that if there are no really salient features that prove useful in childhood, and then maybe a gene could be activated to just silence the in-group, out-group? Not, you couldn't silence it, but I wonder if, for instance, we should see whether an experiment has been done. All right, you know what? I think I wasted your time a little bit, but maybe we kind of learned something. But let's make this a part 1 or something. So let's all look, see if there isn't a good experiment that takes adult employees at a work retreat. A co-company mixer, or different branches are mixing in different branches of the same company, and they compete in some kind of a game, right? So the Scranton branch versus the whatever branch, they have a game of softball or something. Now, we will automatically, this in-group, out-group thing is going to be activated. It's like, whoa, they're from the other branch, bad, whatever. So yeah, so you're going to have all the in-group, out-group stuff. Like in the They said that in the Planet of the Apes filming, it was so funny that when everybody would go to lunch, you'd have all the different like kinds of chimps like sitting together. The humans sitting together and all that. And it's like, that's weird. I mean, we're not filming, you know, but we have this automatic thing. Okay, so the question is, employees who grew up in a diverse, positive, diverse setting, do they have less of a galvanic skin response? Is that what it is? Galvanic? Anyway, do they have less moisture on their skin when watching? That's what you could do. Okay, so you have them play the game. And then, I don't know, let's say you stop it at a tie somehow. So you stop it at a tie, and then, oh, this is a warthog. Oh, great. Okay, cool. But we are going to stop, though, because I have other stuff to work on. You stop it at a tie, then you interview the players, and you show them clips of their team, of different, boom, like good scores or whatever. And you do it for, you show them their own team doing a good boop, and you show them the other team doing a good boop, and you see how they react, why they have a stronger reaction to one or the other. And they probably will, but of course they would also have just different kinds of reactions, right? Maybe you wouldn't be able to do a GSR. Maybe that wouldn't tell you enough. No, yeah, it would. You wouldn't. No. If you're excited to see your own team, I don't think it's going to have as much of a response as if you're annoyed to see the other team do a good score, make a point. Okay, so yeah, and let's see. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't a correlation between diverse. Oh, I'm just talking about childhood again. I mean, if it's epigenetics, why don't we just, do we have the technology yet to just like see the loudness of this gene? Or the well, this is what it's like to like think you understand something, not understand it. Hello?